What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream. We're back in our Deck Knight project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, blueprints, the gameplay ability system plugin, and all of that good stuff. So, it's been a while. I mean, I guess technically it's been a while. We didn't stream last week, but we're back this week, ready to get back into it. So what we had been working on for quite a long time was our projectile pooling system. And we got that to a very, very good place, I think, I hope. So I think it's back time now to work on our Dagger weapon and the actual loop within the daggers itself. So I'm just going to store a reference to one of these variables, not variables, one of these animations, because I want to, because I like how this movement is. And I want this to be maybe part of like the whole builder spinner mechanic that I want to do for each of my weapons, where with the dagger, I want you to be able to kind of, as you're dealing damage and doing all that stuff, I want you to kind of earn mana, whatever we want to call it, some sort of special resource, which would be underneath the health bar. So currently you see it at the bottom right. Maybe it's not super visible. I don't know if it'll need to be somewhere else, but we will need to have some sort of visualization for this this resource that you're going to be getting. So what I want to do is, while you're doing attacks on enemies, each attack will add a stack of some status, right? And then maybe at the end, if you can stack 4 times or 3 times, whatever the number would be, they get, some sort of mark on them. And when they're marked, when you do something like this, you consume that mark. You get a lot of that resource to spend, and then instead of this attack, it's this dagger move where he's doing like this and like spawning projectiles. That could be like in a shape of like, an X more or less, right? So you kind of shoot that off, and then you can deal damage. I'm not sure if an X is the best shape. Maybe it can be just like an arrow forward kind of thing. And then that could deal more damage, and maybe that can also apply status back on them, like full-blown status or something, and then you could just zoom in again, and there could be that kind of continuous flow. And maybe the cards can play into that a little bit and do something interesting. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to fuck around and find out. So obviously this starts with a dream, but no, for real, I don't know if I have an attribute set that had mana in it. Maybe I can reuse something. There's card resources, ability stacks, stamina, which is not really a thing. Weapon attributes. So maybe in my weapon attribute, so there's all this stuff about the bow and stuff. So maybe I can add another one here for like a primary weapon resource or something. Or weapon mana. We'll call it weapon mana. So we'll call it current weapon mana. Max weapon mana. And then maybe we can also have, like, maybe there's some like regen stuff that can happen as well. So we'll put some regeneration stuff in here too. For weapon, mana, regen, delay. So we have that. Now we gotta just clamp some stuff here as well. If attribute equals get max weapon mana attribute. Oh. Just attribute for max change, current weapon mana value. Good. And then if attribute equals get current weapon mana attribute value equals yep. We're on a roll. All this seems fine. So now on posts and stuff, I guess I have to do some other clamps as well, right? Maybe not. Let's do it. So if data dot evaluated data dot attribute, and we're gonna say get weapon mana regen attribute. We're gonna clamp that, right? So set weapon regen or yeah, mana regen. That's clamp, and yeah, we'll do that. Sense to me. And yeah, we should for sure do some clamping as well up here for the regen time. Regen delay attribute, right? We'll clamp, and we want to clamp between 0 and let's say like 2. Well, let's do 10, like we always do. So that's all well and good. Let's put that in. Make sure that compiles. Essentially, I need to have some sort of, like, maybe, I guess, some sort of coefficient or something. Where it's like, you know, depending on the amount of damage that you do, you get a certain amount of this resource. But let's do the UI. Let's just make sure that's showing at least a proof of concept of it. And we'll have to figure out the best way of visualizing it. So we need to grant this attribute. It's been a while, but we should have we need an attribute emitter. We need to add it to our data tables. But we have, I think AS character base. Yeah. So let's do this, but let's also add it. Well, we actually don't need to add the attribute set because it already exists because it's the weapon attribute. So that's good. But let's put in. Do we have a weapon emitter in here? I think I would, right? I guess it's for. I guess I added in there for the actual weapon itself, which maybe makes sense. Because man, I feel like the weapon mana should be agnostic, right? So GE underscore character underscore weapon mana resource attribute emitter. Okay. Instant give it will not stack. Okay, that's just because there's some legacy stuff in there and the duplicate. So let's clean this up. So we don't need so instant modifier, sure. Let's clear that out. Overflow effects, whatever, good. Instant, yeah. Can I save this? What's wrong? Instant game effects will not stack. Okay, no stacking, that's fine. So modifier. Override. Let's see, so there's stat in it. Card resource mapping, card data, card cost, CT. There's the base attributes. Maybe I can just make a new one. So CT, GSC, weapon, mana, attributes. You just rename everything. So rename. Weapon, mana. Generation delay, GAC underscore weapon attribute set. So I'm just gonna copy that. So delay is whatever, it's fine. And we're gonna do weapon mana. Well, max weapon mana. Generation rate. The max would be 100, sure. Delay is this, and this could be just like 2. Just 1. No, we're not going to do any regeneration just yet. Now, should be able to say max. That. Current. Value, and then we'll just do the other 2. Weapon mana, regen, delay, that. That'd be a knitter, I hope. That. And then when we play, so far no crash, so that's great. We can pick our attributes, go me, weapon attributes, and now yeah, current weapon mana, max mana, regen, yeah, so all good. So that's set up. Now let's go to our character plate, I think I called it. No, not necessarily that, but nameplate here. So more or less, I should be able to just go here and make, I guess, seemingly a duplicate of this, but I would need to grab a view model as well, which I don't have. I should be able to just create this thing. It's been a while since we had to do a view model as well. So let's go here. So make a folder, weapon, mana, health. I don't know if we're using health, I'm just going to new, so we'll just do that. And then copy this. PvP underscore player. Weapon, mana. Make it blue. Okay, I have to connect to Perforce. Let's try that again. Mana. So now rename some stuff. So player, weapon, mana. Player health as text. So player, weapon, mana as text. Color, change you to some sort of light blue. New one, green. Oh, not green, blue. Change it to blue. So we have HP, Euro red, so mana, bam. Just gotta change. So all this color is possible. Seems reasonable. Okay, so now, like I said, we need to create a view model, because yeah, there's a view model, and can't remember. There's view bindings and details and stuff. Like, I'm fairly certain there's a way, and it's been a while, to, I guess I can add a view model, right? So NVV and base view model. I think I can make something in Blueprint here. So in your weapon data asset, you have a weapon abilities data assets. Curious what's in that. I'm trying to use some of your logic for my own weapon combo system. I'm wondering if I need that data. Weapon data asset. Let's take a look, because I use it just in case I want to have like active abilities when the weapon is equipped. So anything that might be dormant, waiting by default, listeners, abilities like that. So for the weapon, so base weapon data, maybe it's in the default daggers one. Yeah, so active weapon ability set. So in this one, right now I just have an example GE test weapon, and what that does is when Daggers is active, my health becomes 3,000, and when I switch to bow, I get back to 100, and then when I'm back with Daggers, I get to 3,000 health. It's just a proof of concept, just in case I need to have maybe gameplay effects that are doing something, or abilities that are doing something. Well, the ability itself is active. That's really all that's doing. So, do I have view models anywhere? Yeah, VM health, right? So, weapon mana. And let's duplicate, copy, VM underscore weapon mana. I want to reparent. I don't know, it has to be view model base. Let's open up. So yeah, it is a view model base. We have these functions. We're broadcasting stuff. We get current health. Yeah, and then we're using a component, I believe, to listen to and update this view model. So let's parent that. Fine. Okay, I should be good without it. My weapons already have a way to assign abilities and effects and such. Just need to figure out combo states or choosers. No worries. Glad to help where I can. So I need variables and functions, right? In the same way that I have in this code. So let's see. I need to get current health. So let's make a function. We're going to do get current weapon mana. And it is blueprint pure. And I need to make it a field notify. Does it have to be const, or does it need to be exact, not deprecated, unsafe, but safe? Got the pilot. How do I make the field notify? Does it need an output or input? Get current health, const, return. So it just needs to output float, right? What do I have to do to make the field notify visible? Category doesn't matter, keyword I don't think matters. Let's see. When we find the enable field notify. Let's see. Let's see. So far, no luck. Few models prepared setup, yeah. So that's okay. So maybe I need to. Okay, so it has to be also a variable here, right? So current weapon mana float, and I'm gonna just delete this, click this, and now I can just make that public. There you go. And now it's a field notify. Get current weapon mana. And then same thing for max weapon mana. Good. Shouldn't have deleted that. Let's see. And then I need to make setters, so set current weapon mana input. Where is this current? So new current weapon mana. That set max. Change the names. That. And then, let's see, display weapon mana as text. Output parameter as text, so out weapon mana text. And then we can do format, I believe. Let's see, current divided by, not divided by, but over max. And we can just dump these guys in. And ideally, yeah, we should be able to floor both of these. And then I think if I go to player weapon mana, go view model, do weapon mana instead, and select. Can I just delete this one? Yes. Now we have these view models. So bindings all kind of broke, but that's fine by me. Oh, I gotta do get health percentage as well. So we'll do get current. So get weapon mana percentage, and we can just out weapon mana percentage. Save divide. Lamp. Base. 1. There you go. Now, I hope I can now grab this and do I have to recompile again? Because yeah, there's current weapon mana, max weapon mana. So it's also a variable, I guess. So okay, so weapon mana percentage. And I guess every time I call set, I don't need this, right? So now I should be able to just do set weapon mana percentage and just do that again. So yeah, set this as new weapon mana percentage. Hopefully this is kosher. I'm gonna do it that way. And then the same thing for set current. I can copy it correctly. Okay, I'm doing stuff ass backwards. I don't need this. I should just be able to do this. And set current. Do this. Set max. Do this. And now binding and add a new binding. Okay. How do I make this compatible? I guess I have to make this a variable, right? So text. So weapon mana as text. Under the cell. I guess because these things not much, but okay. So in theory that works. Sort of, right? So you know, by default it's empty, but now I need to do a component. Or maybe I could just reuse the health component. And just track this stuff here as well. Oh boy. Oh god. I think that's okay. No. So player managed text exists but is not accessible at runtime. So the binding is set on a property with legacy binding. Couldn't create the destination field path. Is not writable at runtime. Let me look at the player health real quick. So view bindings. Seems fine. Seems fine. Okay. So it's the view model. Can I change anything about the view model? Because I remember there's a window. There's view models, navigation simulation, view bindings, conditions, details. There's that. Okay, let's assume that's fine. Let's go to the health component. How do I access view models? So yeah, there's initializing it, right? So we put the view model. You can choose how to initialize it, but that's not super. So if I hide that and reopen the window, it's still not super clear. So is it under? It's not under these settings, right? So under details, here we go. So initialize sources on construct, create view without bindings, initialize events on construct. That's not what I wanted. Is there any information? since those functions are created dynamically, I noticed this in the View Designer. Do I have to close it? Yeah, here we go. Creation type manual. So the global view model collection refers to the there's a manual. Property path. The creation method provides an alternative that is potentially cleaner and requires less code support. Instead of other classes reaching inside the widget, it says the model widget reaches out with a series of function calls and references to the model. Guess I can go this route. Okay, so in here, I should already have a reference to the view model, right? There's that, the context name. View model instance. Because in our health component, let's look in code real quick. We have character components, health component, right? So we're doing all this. Initialize view model, so here, right? Heyo! How's it going? So essentially this, I have to replicate and blueprint real quick. We'll figure out how to better refactor this on a later stream, but I need, yeah, view, model, game, so new model subsystem. You would think it's this one, right? But it doesn't seem like it is. Okay, so get view model collection. That's what I'm looking for. Hi, I'm also a UE5 developer. Damn, how'd you get those aesthetics in your Unreal Engine? Is it a plugin? Yeah, it's a darker nodes, and then there's the electronic nodes plugins. Some code, I'm doing this, and then we do add view model instance, and we're passing in let's try that again. Electronic nodes is also incompatible with other wire modification plugins. Oh, didn't know that. Good to know. Then I need to do what? So construct object in class, global view model. So MVVM base. So MVVM games subsystem. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Hold on. But yeah, character held view model. Okay, so I have to do weapon data, weapon mana. This. Booyah. And so essentially, you know, this I gotta do at like some other point. I think for now, I think I can reuse event begin play. Very similar things here. Maybe, like, I don't want to have so many... Like, I don't want to have so many components. Maybe I can make a view model subsystem where I'm kind of doing this in. but I'm not sure if player subsystems are blueprintable. So for now, whatever, we'll do it here. So max weapon mana, make new value. Let's also make a sec. So weapon mana attributes. That. Grab the view model. That max weapon mana. That. Copy. Current weapon mana. That there. Oh, Claw. Claw T5. What's good? Thanks for popping in. We got these, and then essentially I need to do this, right? What are you working on? Slowly putting together the attribute sets that I need to have what I'm calling weapon mana. So each weapon you have will have like a builder, spender mechanic. So we're working on the daggers. So I'm just trying to get that attribute set up with the UI to work, and I'm making a view model for it so I can just separate the data from the UI. And once that's all in, we should start to be able to start rewarding weapon mana and using weapon mana as gaining mechanisms for some abilities, and just see where that goes. So we're only going to stream for another 30-40 minutes or something like that. What kind of game? So what I'm trying to make is a blend of something like Hades, where you have like the fast-paced combat. But I also wanted to have a layer where you have a deck building element to it. So you have cards in your deck, and you build this deck and earn points to spend on those cards while you're playing these kind of like fast-paced action gameplay. So as you perform better, you earn points. You can activate cards like this one. I can turn into a fireball. That's the only card I have that really does anything. But you basically earn card resources and use those resources to activate a card. And different cards have different abilities. You can have active ability cards that get slotted into your active ability slots on the left. You have passives. You have instant effects. You can have summons. You can have all these different types of cards, things that can feed into your weapon loops. So you could have a card that grants you, you know, double arrows or something. Or, you know, have a card that gives you a passive that, say, your dagger nail deals fire damage and stacks fire buildup or something like that. So that's what I'm working towards. So right now we had a pretty big stint on the projectile pooling system. So now we're back into the actual meat and potatoes, everything. So now we have, you know, we have our bow, we have a basic dagger set up. We have a dummy enemy, we have damage, we have, you know, all the gas stuff set up. We have a special ability we can do. And yeah, we can play a card. I can turn into a fireball, apply fire on him. The dummy is using a example of some of the projectile pooling systems. So we're pooling objects, shooting out projectiles and stuff like that. So the main idea is that, you know, you as the player are playing this game, but in the context of the game itself, it's a card game. And so when you're fighting these enemies, these mob enemies, I want there to be a more high level AI that is playing cards as well. So their cards can boost their enemy mobs. They can wipe out your hand. They can counteract your cards. make it more difficult, challenge you in that different layer. And so on two layers, you're fighting an enemy, kind of. So I'm hoping I can make it interesting. If you want, here is a video explaining a lot of it. So definitely check it out on YouTube. But yeah, that's the goal right now. So we're slowly just building systems to get us there. And I just hope it's going to be good. Yeah, so we have our weapon mana. We are updating the view model at this point. So now we need to actually add it to our UI now, right? So mixing the dexterity element of 3D gameplay with the complexity choices of card-based gameplay is bold. I like it. Thanks. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, I try to keep my blueprints organized, but yeah, it's all a facade. It's all messy. So here's our nameplate, right? So now we can add this weapon mana. Yeah, let's lock everything. Just move our guy into place. Yeah, it might be too thin to really show text, but we'll... So that sort of works. Obviously, let's make the text smaller for now. Text size. Font. Maybe 12 is big enough. No. Maybe 8. Or maybe we don't need text at all, you know. That's also an option. But it seems like it's okay. Is that a plugin that makes them look matte? Are you talking about the blueprints? Because yeah, it's electronic nodes plugin and then also darker nodes plugin. Okay. So as we can see, that doesn't work. Well, let's go into our view model. Oh, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated, man. So yeah, we want to do global view model collection, and then yeah, we forgot to do this part. So here's our health. So model context. So let's see if it will update now. Okay, so sort of. So we're almost there. So we essentially forgot to update this part, right? So we gotta update current and max mana, and then call the appropriate function. So we got current weapon mana. Max. And essentially, calling the view model again, update it. For both of these, I think we'll be in business. Okay, so I'm not quite in business yet. Now, is it an ordering thing? Am I crazy? Let's see. So weapon mana, good. So, yeah, all that seems good. Let's put a breakpoint in. So we're gonna go through the motions so we get to there. Cool, cool. Got it. Plugged it into the wrong thing. So here's the execution pin we need to go to. And bing, bing, boom, maybe. So let's see. So close. I always think we're there, but we're not quite there. So let's check this out. Let's see what values we're getting. Maybe it's too soon and begin play. Doesn't make sense. So current value is 0. Max value is 0. So my assumption is if I were to, for example, do delay, we would see it populate, which we do. You see now it's fully blue. Oh yeah, you can go down the line of breakpoints. It's crazy. It's great. So, you know, just to show it again, you can breakpoint, do that, and then towards the top here you can hit next, 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 next. And then you can also step into, if it's something you could step into, step back out, and do a bunch of crazy stuff. It's nice. So something is wrong with our percentage. So I'm gonna put a breakpoint here. So current mana is 100, max mana is that. Okay, so that's why 100 divided by 0. So we set current mana, so we do set weapon mana percentage, set back. Yeah, so we're doing both of these there. Wonder why it's only getting called once. Unless I can also just manually call it there too, because set current should call this, right? So let me put a breakpoint here. And then what you can do, you can step in and you get here, right? Then you go here, max it's 100, go here, step in, go here. Current 100, max 100, safe divide should be 1, which is correct actually, because the whole bar is 100, like it's filled. So that's not actually where the problem is. I'm like 3 years into using Unreal and I'm still learning stuff. Man, dude, I'm like 15 years almost into Unreal Engine and I'm still learning stuff. So don't worry about it, don't stress about it. So it's actually displaying as text, that's my issue, right? So if I go into my view model, display this as text, what am I getting? So it's never really updating. So I assume I have to do something very, very similar, where I could just say I don't know if I'm an actual professional, but I've been around the block. I'm still going around that block. The block is indefinite and infinite. So what do I really want to be doing? So I could, rather than making this pure or anything, should be able to do something like this instead. And then back into here, I could do this. And then this should work. Yeah, so 100 out of 100 at the bottom there. If you've been paid to go around the block, you're a professional. All right, I'll take it. So now we are at, 100 full weapon mana. No, MC, yeah. MC Icer stairs, yeah. It goes on and on and on. So, not terribly happy about how the weapon stuff, how the glow looks, at least. But we're able to get some progress there because there's style, fill image, and it's this thing. But I don't know if I can actually update anything really about it. There's colors, rotation speed, distortion, glow intensity. Like, if I were to make that glow intensity just ridiculous, what does it look like in practice? Does it? So maybe I could make the glow intensity glow more, I guess, when it's like that. Like maybe when it's at 100%. Like I would have to also potentially set this material to a material in dynamic instance material. Yeah, the animation stuff it's from Fab. I didn't make any of the animations, so props to the people who do make that. What game are you making? I'm making a game that aims to blend third-person action with deck building mechanics. So you have your player. Right now you just have dummy weapons. And so basically you're able to earn points or card resources to execute cards with. So as you're attacking and dealing damage, you can play cards, and this card lets me turn into a fireball, and that fireball turns and applies burn. And so you have different types of weapons. I want you to have a primary weapon and a secondary weapon, which is like a ranged weapon. So you can see I have ricochet, I have crits, I have damage, and you have my dagger. And so right now we're working on the gameplay loop for the dagger, which involves this weapon mana resource. And you have a charge that shoots multiple projectiles. And yeah, you kind of go from there. So slowly building up some weapon archetypes. So it's similar to Hades in that, I want it to be fast-paced gameplay loops. I want it to be weapon-based, and I want the weapons to have some interesting individual gameplay loop within them. But then I want to have deck building elements of things like Thalia's Spire. Maybe not as complex just because there's so many things going on, but have cards that kind of feed into those weapons, give you abilities that can kind of have more ultimate payoff, and you kind of just try to survive and go through like tournaments of such. And then on top of that, you have these mobs of enemies. So right now they're just all dummy enemies, but on top of that, I want there to be a layer of like another AI that is also playing cards. So this upper level AI, if you think of it like Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, you have the two people playing the cards, and then the actual game, you see the characters and they're fighting and stuff like that. So think of it like Yu-Gi-Oh in that sense, where you have you as the player playing cards and controlling your character, and then you have another AI that is also playing cards and controlling their mobs. And then that AI can play cards that buff their mobs or try to debuff you, wipe out your cards, force you to play certain cards, try to challenge you on that layer of strategy as well, while you also try to manage the second-to-second gameplay of like this really fast action. So that's what I'm aiming towards, that's what I'm hoping to achieve, but who knows what it's going to be like in practice. We'll find out. So yeah, that's what we're working on. So I wonder, if I can make this a dynamic material instance. How long did it take you to program all that? Well, I've been streaming this project for maybe like a year and a half for a couple hours a week. So a while, but you know, also the game has changed a lot. I've gone back and refactored things a bunch, so we're still making slow progress, but you know, progress is progress. So what I want to try to achieve here is make a dynamic material instance and apply that to the fill image, because right now, you know, we have this glow intensity and glow color. So maybe the glow color needs to be like some neon thing, and then the intensity is like that, and then that's edge color and fluid color, background color. Let's just see what the distortion's doing. Because yeah, maybe I can have some like distortion effects on it when it's full. Maybe I could just turn up some dials to 11 to make that, you know, a little more obvious. Maybe there could be just like a general glowing effect as well. There's also like the fill distortion. There's a couple of different ways to try to make this visible when you're full. I don't know what would be. There's shadow intensity, which is wildly looking. There's rotation speeds. Cloud's color, cloud rotation speed. Some crazy stuff. Can I tell you about my game? Yeah, you can tell me about your game. Tell everybody. You can also join our Discord. Share your game there as well. I don't know. I need to copy some of these settings back because I fucked up this blue. Fluid distortion. .1 5. Because maybe it can be faster as well when you have it like increased. Maybe 100's too much, but you know what I mean, like maybe like 5 or something. Maybe 10 makes more sense. And then we need just smaller numbers up here. And this glowing intensity can go from like 0 to like 10 or something. See, I'm trying to look at it like, you know, from this perspective, like, does it make sense? Like, should it be more diegetic or something? It's a mixed game of survival and battle royale. You spawn at the island and survive for 1 hour. After 1 hour, storm is coming, closing in, switches to battle royale. And you have your pet next to you. They have a passive ability like sniff out the ores. There's so much more. I mean, that sounds interesting, but like an hour before the battle royale aspect starts, I'm curious, like, because that's like two, like in my opinion, it's like two completely different playstyles. And so, like, if you're a fan of survival games, would you be a fan of the battle royale aspect of it, and vice versa? I mean, it's a good question to ask, and maybe that game answers and, you know, satisfies that itch for those players. So who knows? Yeah. So I wonder if this nameplate part needs to be bigger. Let me reopen the nameplate here. I'm not sure why it doesn't let me. Okay, I guess that can make sense too. And maybe there's that thing where you team up to craft good weapons and stuff, and then you fight those same people to win. That could be interesting. I like that. Seen this bug. I don't know if this is a bug, but yeah, one night ring run takes less than an hour, for example. That's fair. Now I'm getting blinded by the light. What is not editable from this? That's a bizarre thing here. Like, you see how it's grayed out on the side here? I can't do anything with it. Oh, I know why. Because it's locked. I'm stupid. So I'm hoping I can make this like, I don't know, 450. Well, I gotta sideline it to the image size here, right? So maybe maybe 700 by 100. Maybe it could be bigger. To me, that seems too big, but let's see. Did I just more than double that? Yeah. Probably not a good idea, so let's make it like 110 by 850. Is that big enough? Possibly. It does ruin the feng shui of like the size of everything with like the ability bar and everything. That's what that would look like. I don't know, it seems too big. I wonder if it would be better if, because yeah, there's this HP frame. Let's see. Frame. What do we have? The enemy HP frame. So we have like these kind of frames, right? That's for like the enemy. There's frame dark. HP frame, loading frame. Minimap, round frame, skill frames, text frames, hero HP. Like, I don't like the double. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know if I need to have something else. Just frame lines. Like, I don't know if I need to have 2 lines kind of thing. What other frames do we have? Not much. Hmm. So if we get rid of the frames, obviously we're back to this, right? Maybe that's like, do I need a frame? Like assuming they can, I line them up. I wonder if they can be. So yeah, this is, if I were to make this 600 by 40, also this one is 600 by 40. Did I say 600? Yeah. Like, why is this smaller? They're the same size. Are the skews different? Are the skews done here? So let's show modified properties. So it's truly only position, right? So this could be 0. This probably could be 40, right? That should make them aligned. But then looking at them in a vacuum here. Health. That's the modified properties. Yeah, it's weird that I'm getting two different things, I guess. There's offset. Let's just look through a bunch of this and we'll see what happens. So the anchor. So vertical box anchor, same offset bottom. Can I just not offset on the bottom? Okay. Size the content, fine. Like, what is this, like... Something is being sheared, it seems. Like, doesn't that look sheared? So what is it about this image? So draw as image. So it's the bar. And it's hero mana. Which I'm assuming is because that's a separate size. So there's hero mana and then hero HP. Which, yeah, it's two different sizes. So that, I believe, seems like what is explaining that. But hero mana is thinner. And it's sized the content. That's box, rounded box. My God. None. Border. Image. So if I were to change this to hero red. Sort of looks the same. But to me, they could probably be just bigger, longer. So player health, let's make you 1,000. Mana, if I were to make you 1,000, you're there, so 900. 950. So 940. Pretty big. No wonder. Again, I keep going back and forth where this, like, where the nameplates to be positioned. Because, yeah, I don't know. It seems a bit much, too. So, let's do 900 by 30. I don't know if it needs a border or anything. Or if that makes sense. The health. Is it? I guess it can't be masked, right? It has to be scale. That's that. Mana. Beast. Scale. Like, to me, I feel like there should still be some sort of like framing. So I don't know if they both should be encapsulated into like a single like frame. And that'll make it readable. Because there's frame, line. So maybe I just need a line. So for example, like, does it make sense to have an image with this frame line besides the content, right? So that's pretty big. So if I make this, what, 900 at like 30? We don't really cover it. Yeah, we kind of cover it, right? So, like, is it enough to have something like that? Honestly, not perfect. And yeah, should these be like again skewed because it's the texture, right? But like, something like that makes sense. It's definitely too long and probably too thin. Or not too thin, not thin enough. Like, I wonder if having some frame will help it. I think it does. Maybe, yeah. 890. So maybe I can rename this to like top frame and then duplicate it to bottom frame. No. Oh, that looks worse. There's a black element. Right, does it just need like a black background or something? Dark painted bar? Like, does it just need to have something behind it to make it stand out? Maybe. We've been streaming for almost 2 hours, so I'll need to cut it short soon. But if I did something like that, it doesn't really make a difference, obviously. Is it an... Because here's the hero HP bar stuff. Like, don't really need a lot of that. Hero level. Is it because they're angled that it is weird? There's text frame. I don't know if I need that. Text frame. What, doing something like that makes sense. Get rid of this shape. And I'll have to make the text a bit smaller. Let's drop you down to, what, 14 or something? Mana, I can prop you back up to probably 14. Sucks that they're not aligned in terms of where the text is. So I wonder, as an example, we go to mana, we go here, there's this texture, but can I just say like white, like background or something? Like T-common white, and just get me there. And then this way it's square. And then I guess the same for this. So white. And so back on my nameplate, yeah, now they're the same size, so now I should be able to just make them the same actual size. Probably adjust the positions. Like that. Something maybe they can fit into like a square nameplate frame, I should say. Can I ask you why you limit your stream times, or did you mention it I limit it because, you know, I got a full-time job. I don't want to get burnt out. I have just things that I want to manage and maintain, and plus I'm a tired boy, you know. So sometimes I just need to rest. Maybe it makes sense for it to be in these rounded bars. Let's put the health in this one. So we could, instead of image, make it rounded box, right? Then image overlay bottom this thing. And then can I make this bigger? No. Guess I would essentially have to make that rounded box smaller, but let's see. Can't really tell. Yeah, you really can't tell, huh? Yeah, it's hidden behind it. Okay, so it needs to be in front. But yeah, the sizes are all kind of derped up as well. So maybe this loading frame isn't great. Let me just put in frame. It's the original one. So maybe I can use this kind of same frame. It's custom width, so what does that look like in practice? And super stretched. So, I don't know. Maybe it's not worth putting in a frame right now. Let's make this just image. And yeah, we can probably these like 800. Oops. And then in the main, if I can, maybe I can put it back down here. I'm just wondering, like, what's too big, what's not big enough when it comes to this UI and stuff. Like, is that not big enough, you know? So I'm gonna assume I need it to be bigger. So let's make these bad boys 45s. Maybe they do need to go back up. I don't know if that's too intrusive into the world. We'll have to see. It's like, what's the 80s to... So for those who are not familiar, there's a really good website called Game UI Database, and you can kind of just look at examples. So for example, this is what their thing looks like, right? So, you know, in theory, I could make it very similar to that, right? So I could, in theory, have, you know, this icon and this beveled shape and everything where I could, let's see. So we have these frames, right? So I have, like, there's this, you know, hero bar. Like, essentially I could, like, if it was just like this top part, then that would be more or less like that. So I could maybe have like a rounded frame, and then like a square frame or something, like basic big bar, right? Or basic window horizontal or something, right? And that could be something there. Or this, right? Like, it would just have to be scaled to the appropriate size, you know? So let's put things back as they were. And we'll call it a night. Main HUD. There's my main abilities bar. Maybe we need to bring that up a bit. You come back down to like here. Our main abilities bar is at 30. Let's anchor this back down here. Go like that. Oh, don't go like that. But here. Like, to me, maybe because there's too much of an overlap, this feels like the mana bar is bigger. So maybe that's what it is. And then Gotta head out. See you around. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Claude. Thanks for the follow as well. Hope you have a good night. So can I pop this back up to 18? No, so like, I don't know, something just feels wrong. So this goes to 80. That also goes to 80, right? So mana, 650, 900. So maybe this needs to be 900. Like, to me, that's not too bad. Just, to me, it feels like there's some misalignment. And I guess there technically is, right? And is the map... No, is the health bar... Image, and then back in here. Still using common white. You are using common white, but let's do mana bar again. So hero, mana bar. Let's do hero red in the bar. Yeah, so that's wrong. So can I do... Maybe both can be like that? It just seems incorrect. White. White linear. Yeah. So now we can adjust the ability bar again, and then we're done. If I can adjust the lifesteal container. Yeah, I think that's okay for now. We can always make it better later, I think. But we now have a good visualization of your weapon mana. So we got the resources in, we got everything the way we needed to. So next time, we'll start working on the actual loop and see where we can take it from there. So thanks for watching, everybody. It's always appreciated. If you aren't already following me here on Twitch, a follow would be much appreciated. Also, make sure to subscribe to YouTube. Make sure to follow me on Discord. Join there, hang out, learn, grow, slowly but surely get a community together. So thanks again for watching, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon.